Everybody, it's an exciting day for a head football coach. This is like Christmas because you have an opportunity to see the players you've signed and see the progress of some of the players that have worked out so hard over the course of the summer. And I can tell you, we're pleased with what we've seen. The NCAA prohibits our coaching staff from observing our players working out during the course of the summer. My mentor is Coach Osborne. He long said that 6 games are usually won before the season even gets started because of the foundation that's laid with your players during the course of winter and summer. And we're well pleased with the effort. We have had more personal records, and our guys reported back in great shape. Don't hold me to 6 wins right away because of the off-season conditioning. But that was real positive, and so we're excited about that. It was also great to see our freshmen. Many times when you sign them, you don't quite know what you have, and we're still, obviously today was like a Polaroid picture, it was just an initial glance, but well pleased with the athleticism and the ability of our freshmen, and so we're encouraged about that. Biggest thing that we talked about when Tom hired our staff was to bring back a cowboy tough mentality. That's our mantra. Those words are easy to say, but really difficult to do. And it's my pledge to the media and to the group here that you will see a different type of football team out there on how they play, how they're aligned, and how disciplined they are. And by doing that, the wins will come, but that's a process that you go through. All the talk about cowboy tough, cowboy tough, cowboy tough, and pound in your chest, and we're going to wear the colors of brown and gold, and all those things are really important. Now it's got to transition to what goes on in the grass, what goes on in between those lines. And that's not an easy process. I mean, you're talking about offensive linemen coming off the ball and double teaming, and guys being in the right place, and basically putting your hand in the dirt and working hard. And there's no substitute for that. Many times you can give Newt Rockney speeches, tell the cows come home, and you can have slogans and T-shirts and everything else. There is no substitution for hard work. And I think the people in our state recognize that. Our state is a state where the fabric of people, they don't want all the bells and whistles. They just want you to look you in the eye and tell you what you're going to do. And that's why this formula is going to work. And so I'm personally excited about that. And you will see a different mentality of cowboy tough football. And you'll know it. Everybody says, well, what's it going to look like? You'll know it when you see it. Now, we've got some big question marks. I think the number one question mark is our quarterback situation. If anybody says all the positions are equal and everybody's the same, on and on and on, that coach is either off his rock or he's being disingenuous with it. That's a falsehood. Any great football team, we're going to build our program on great defense, and we're going to have a great quarterback. And so we're in a work in progress there. Colby Kirkengard is doing a good job. He's not where we want him to be. Unless some things change during the course of fall camp before we get ready to play the Grizzlies, he's going to be our starter. We will evaluate during the course of fall camp. But make no mistake, he's done better than everybody else. But I think it's going to be important for Brent Vigen and our coaching staff and myself to make sure we put him in position where he can be successful. We're not going to ask him to make the throws that Peyton Manning makes. We're going to ask him to manage the game. We're going to leverage our defense. We have 9 seniors coming back on defense, and we need to leverage that. We need to play field position. Duffy Doherty's an old football coach at Michigan State, and I looked up to him when I was a young kid. He said on Saturdays, more teams lose than win. And that doesn't mean we're going to be conservative. You're going to see some exciting things out there, but how we play and how we manage the game is really going to be important. We set at 7,220 feet. I've been a head coach 11 years. 11 years. There was one time in those 11 years that the team that I stood on the sideline ran out of gas, and that was right here. We flat ran out of gas. So we got to take advantage of that altitude. That means we got to grind people in the fourth quarter. And many games, football teams change during the course of the season, but they change especially during the course of a game. And that fourth quarter will bury your soul naked. And that's why we got to grind people down, and that's why we got to have an offense that's going to be out there on the field and do a 16-play drive when you got to score on one last drive. And it's kind of like sausage. I love sausage, but if you've ever seen it, being made, it doesn't look so good, but it sure tastes good coming out. And so that's how our football team, we're going to grind through people. And that will be a process. But, you know, the quarterback, if we put him in position to allow him to manage the offense, to put him in position to be successful, play field position, play great defense. And I looked at our tape last year. Those numbers do not lie. That defense was unacceptable. We're going to play great defense here, and that'll be a process, and you'll note that as well. We have been pleased with several things. I think, first of all, we're blessed with two really good running backs. They're talented running backs. They can play for a lot of people. Our offensive line is going to be a work in progress, opening up some holes. Those running backs, Sean and DJ, are very, very capable. So we're excited about that. Obviously, everybody in the room knows how many receivers we have. And we're very talented at the receiver position. We just got to make sure we can protect the quarterback and get the ball to them. And then allow them to make some plays. I think our defensive front will be solid. Patrick Mertens has been pleasing for us. You know, the buzzword, Tampa 2. The Tampa 2s, everybody's been running that for many years. But when that defense works, you've got a great defensive tackle. We call that a 3 technique, okay? When that defense works, you've got a great 3 technique. We're really happy Patrick chose to come back for his 6th year. You know what? He's not all flashy, but he can push the pocket, and he's a mature guy. And what's different so much when you play in that defensive line or the offensive line, that's different than all those other positions. I mean, you're down there in the trenches, and that's a heck of a deal. You can be a wide receiver, run around there, be 19 years old. You set your fanny down on the line of scrimmage where men that shave, and if the sheriff came, he'd arrest everybody because it'd be a street fight out there. That's a hard position to play. And so that defensive line is really critical, and a great defense starts with that defensive tackle. And so we're pleased right now. We're optimistic at the defensive tackle position. Everybody knows about Eddie Yarborough. He has been a great, great person to be around. He's an outstanding player. He's a vocal leader. People follow him, and we're really excited about having him. I think Blair Burns has really emerged as an excellent cornerback as well. If we can have one dominant corner, then we can leverage some things the other way. Now, I'm not saying that he's dominant. He's a good football player. And so, case in point, you're going to see us operate out of a 4-3, push the pocket. We'll blitz some, but we're going to be sound. You'll see great pursuit, close the pocket, great fundamentals as far as tackling. Guys flying to the football, creating turnovers. That's going to establish field position and put our offense in position to score and be solid in the kicking game. And that's how we're going to win games. You know, that goes counterculture to what everything is going on in America right now. We're going to snap the ball probably with 1 second left. So don't panic if you're up in the stands saying, oh, they got to snap the ball. We want time of possession, and we will be very deliberate. So, you know, at this time, I am going to open up to questions. Our players have been asked to be out on the field at 2 o'clock, so I'm going to be sensitive to their schedule. So I'll answer a couple questions, but we do need to get down to the field. So at this time, any questions from the media? Okay. You got one back here, huh? Do we have a question? Usually when one starts.
Coach, we just lay out some of what you feel some tangible and attainable goals are for this team in the first year as a coaching staff.
Well, you know, and right away everybody's going to gravitate to record, and I get that. What's so important for us is when you're establishing a program, you know, how we play is going to change, and that does not mean that I'm going to have rose-colored glasses on and say the record's not important. But to get this ship turned around the right direction, we're going to need to look and play differently. We're going to need to make sure that when we get in the fourth quarter, that we're not in position to where we got to beat somebody 51-49. You know what? The wins are going to come. My experience with the Mountain West is very limited. We played Colorado State one year. It was a couple years ago. We were fortunate enough to win, but I've looked at enough tape. I know it's a very challenging league. You look at our non-conference schedule. University of Montana will be a great ball game here on August 30th. They have a proud tradition, and you play Florida Atlantic, and then you play a couple other teams called Oregon and Michigan State. And so pretty daunting task, but we're excited about that. I guess the biggest parameter that I'm going to know is do you see an offense that can complete a 12-play drive? Do you see a defense that's out there and you know what? They're not racking up 450 yards. Do you see us start to transition in a defense that can hold some people to 15 or 17 points? And those are really, really low numbers, but those are the goals that we're shooting for. So if I've evaded the record question, that's exactly what I attempted to do. Hopefully I succeeded. Any other questions that are out?